Good evening. Glad that you are watching your channel of choice on TV47 News tonight. Tonight, former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko, Taita Taveta County Governor Granton Samboja, and Machakos gubernatorial aspirant Wavinya Ndeti among those whose political dreams hang in the balance due to IEBC's tough measures.
Governor Sonko has an active, I repeat, active matter before the Supreme Court. And all other causes are subordinate to the Supreme Court. Tuache mambo haya.
Also tonight, Senate divided right in the middle on raising the country's debt ceiling.
Not been open to engage the Senate and Parliament on the public management debt.
And Azimio la Umoja leaders traverse Makueni County as Kenya Kwanza leaders tour Kiambu County.
Tutakuwa na pesa ya kutosha ya maendeleo ya hapa chini. Sawa sawa? Hiyo ni BBI.
Minimbesa is our sign language interpreter. Good evening, I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. To our top story tonight, and Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance flag bearer Raila Odinga now says the Azimio la Umoja government will revive the Building Bridges initiative if elected the 5th president in August 9th this year. Odinga, who doubles up as ODM party leader, says BBI will bring equity in the distribution of resources as well as increase revenue allocation to the counties. And as Mike Kagwongo now reports, Odinga and his Azimio brigade traversed Makueni County today to woo voters ahead of the much anticipated general election.
Speaking in Makueni County during his Azimio la Umoja campaigns, the former Prime Minister said all is not lost for the BBI, even after the courts declared the process unconstitutional.
Tatu, tutazidisha pesa ambayo inatoka Nairobi kuja hapa mashinani. Tutapandisha kutoka 15% hadi 35%. Tutakuwa na pesa ya kutosha ya maendeleo ya hapa chini. Sawa sawa? Hiyo ni BBI. Nilisema rege ilienda likizo. Inarudi. Rege inarudi.
Some of the key proposals the ODM leader intends to implement is allocation of at least 35% of the national revenue to counties, enhancement of the equalization fund, implementation of a 7-year tax holiday for youth-owned business, and provision of cheap loans to small and medium-sized enterprises.
Tofauti kati yetu na wale watu ambao wanaitwa Kenya kwisha ile ni kama usiku na mchana. Wanaongoa ati chini juu. Ati chini juu. Chini juu ni kitu gani hiyo?
According to the Azimio la Umoja team, Makueni County is among the counties set to benefit largely if Odinga will make it to the August House.
Kama Makueni tumekuwa na Makueni Care. Shilingi 500 sasa watu wanapata dawa. Na tunajua hiyo baba care yako ya afya itakuwa ni ya Kenya yote.
Ndugu Raila, maombi yangu mimi kama nitakuwa waziri mkuu wako na ndada ambaye ni Martha Karua akiwa deputy wako, mimi nitaimiza hiyo serikali ya baba ihakikishe dual carriageway kutoka Nairobi mpaka Mombasa. Watu wetu wamekufa.
The former Prime Minister held a series of rallies in Mtito one day, Kibwezi Township, Nongoni and Kikima areas, where he took the opportunity to sell his plan for the country.
Tuko na tume ambayo inahusika na mambo ya mipaka katika taifa letu lote. Kitu nimekuwa ni ya kwamba wameregea sana. Lakini hii kazi tutafanya kwa njia ya haraka kabisa. Ili ijulikane mpaka wa Pwani na Ukambani iko wapi na watu waishi kwa njia ya urafiki. Ama sio?
Sasa hii barabara inaelekea Mwingi. Before Mwingi, my brother, the 5th president. Kutoka hapo, tuweke kila bidii because you know the routing very well. Mpaka Usweni, mpaka yende Isiolo.
Nyinyi wenyewe mjiangalilie inchi, muangalie Pwani, muangalie Ukambani,
Nairobi, Magharibi, Nyanza, Masaini, hata mkija mkoa wa Kati, muone Martha Karua hapo, Rais Uhuru hapo, na mimi hapo. Hizo kura zinaenda kwa baba.
Kama mna mheshimiwa Mwai Kibaki na sera zake, the implementers, his Spana boys and girls are here. Timu yake Kibaki ndio hii. Kwa heshima ya mwenda zake ni timu ya Azimio.
Mike Kagwongo, TV 47.
Elsewhere, Deputy President William Ruto has challenged the government to focus on reviving the economy, saying it's about time that the country made an informed decision that will aid in reviving the economy. While campaigning in Nairobi's Embakasi area, Ruto promised to create more job opportunities if elected to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta in the August 9th polls.
Bottom.
The Kenya Kwanza coalition campaign trail, led by Deputy President William Ruto, hit the road Tuesday in search of votes in Nairobi's Embakasi constituency. Ruto, while drumming up support for his bottom-up economic model, assured Kenyans of more employment opportunities if elected president in the upcoming August 9th general election.
Mimi nataka niwaambie, mambo ya ajira ya vijana sio tafadhali tena. Hiyo ni mambo ya lazima, kwa sababu tuko na vijana mamilioni hawana ajira na hakuna dawa ingine. Lazima tuweke pesa ya serikali na tupange vile ajira itapatikana, ndio vijana wa taifa letu la Kenya wasiishi kama maskota, wasiishi kama wakimbizi katika taifa lao. That is why we must do this as a matter of urgency. Tunaelewana, my friends?
Speaking to small-scale traders and business operators in Mukuru kwa Ruben, Pipeline and Imara Daima areas, the second-in-command promised to build 20 more markets in Nairobi, put in place laws to govern the common trader, as well as set aside money to empower the small-scale business operators in their day-to-day activities.
Tunaweka bilioni 50 katika hazina ya kupatia hawa watu wa chini pesa ya kuinua biashara yao. Lazima tupunguze gharama ya chakula. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Ili kila Mkenya aweze kulisha familia yake, ni lazima tupunguze gharama ya chakula.
The DP further took the chance to slam his Azimio One Kenya counterpart Raila Odinga for his sentiments on the mitumba business during the coalition's manifesto launch.
Mulisikia mwingine anasema ati atafunga kazi ya mitumba. Sasa mimi nataka nikuulize wewe. My friend, kama wewe ulizaliwa ukivaa suit, wewe waachana na sisi tumevaa mtumba. Bado sisi ni Wakenya, tunalipa ushuru na biashara itaendelea.
Nairobi Gubernatorial aspirant Johnson Sakaja, who among other Kenya Kwanza leaders had accompanied the DP for the rally, defended himself against allegations of having poor academic qualifications, terming them as political witch hunt.
Kuna wadosi wamekaa mahali wanasema kijana wa mtu kawaida hawezi kuwa gavana wa Nairobi. Si mnaona wananiandama, wananiwekea makesi. Mimi nimesoma, niko na makaratasi na najua Mwenyezi Mungu atatushikilia, tutafaulu. Nitakuwa kwa hiyo debe ya kuwa gavana wa Nairobi City County.
The Kenya Kwanza Brigade is expected to tour Kisii County Wednesday to further popularize its bottom-up economic model. Andrin Kilemi, TV 47.
Well, tonight, two gubernatorial hopefuls, Mike Sonko and Wavinya Ndeti, are fighting to save their gubernatorial ambitions after the IEBC's Dispute Resolution Committee. This after the Wiper Democratic Movement challenged IEBC's decision to bar Sonko from contesting in Mombasa, terming the decision as unconstitutional. Wavinya, on the other hand, faces a petition in court over her degree qualifications after two Machakos voters said she is not qualified.
Former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko and his fellow Machakos gubernatorial hopeful Wavinya Ndeti are fighting to salvage their political careers before the IEBC Dispute Resolutions Committee in what could be a make or break moment.
Kama mlikuwa mkidhani Sonko ana mwenyewe, ako na mwenyewe, na ako na wenyewe, na ako na baba yake. Kwa hivyo, let these matters be dispensed with urgently.
Sonko, whose case will be heard on Wednesday, found solace in the Kalonzo Musyoka-led Wiper Party, which filed a complaint against IEBC for not clearing Sonko to contest the Mombasa governor's seat, arguing there is an active case in court and the returning of some Mombasa County Swalha Yusuf committed an illegality.
Governor Sonko has an active, I repeat, active matter before the Supreme Court. And all other causes are subordinate to the Supreme Court. Tuache mambo haya ya kusaliti nia za wazalendo wa Mombasa. And I want to say Kenya kwa jumla.
In the Wavinya case, two petitioners from Machakos County, Gideon Gewa and Kisilu Mutisia, have submitted before the committee disputing Wavinya's degree qualifications and want her nomination revoked. Wavinya's lawyers Eunice Lumala and Ochieng Oginga told the Bolu Moya-led committee that Wavinya is a degree holder, having contested in the 2013 and the 2017 general election, with no questions on her qualification.
Well, we apologize for that. Our senior reporter Apollo Kamau will be working on that story, and we shall bring you that story a little bit later in this broadcast. Now, the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority has issued a statement that indicates the increase of pump prices of super petrol, diesel and kerosene in a review which will be in force from 15th of June to 14th of next month. For the period, super petrol will now retail at 159, diesel at 140, while kerosene will be sold at 128 per litre respectively in Nairobi starting today midnight. The new prices have been adjusted for inflation following the increment of import prices. Elsewhere, a heated debate was witnessed in the Senate's afternoon session as members debated the report of the Delegated Legislation Committee over raising the country's debt ceiling to 10 trillion shillings ahead of a transition period. Deputy President William Ruto's allies and the Kenya Kwanza Brigade, who are opposed to raising the debt ceiling, argue that there is no need of raising the debt ceiling, whereas Azimio members who are in support say that this will give the next government more time to organize themselves. Our Parliamentary Affairs reporter Elizabeth Mutuku has the details.
Committee of the Whole.
With 2 days remaining before the Senate adjourns sine die, the House is racing against time and is yet to resolve some key bills and motions, including the Public Finance Amendment Bill 2022. A heated debate rising in the Senate's afternoon session as members discussed a Legislative Delegation Committee report on debt ceiling. Senators allied to Deputy President William Ruto opposed to raising of the debt ceiling to 10 trillion shillings and instead calling upon review of the wage bill and recurrent expenditure.
Speaker, we have been fighting to get Treasury to come here to tell Kenyans what they are doing to manage the public debt, Madam Speaker, and to tell us about retiring the expensive loans. Madam Speaker, they are taking commercial loans as opposed to concessional loans, Madam Speaker. The Treasury has failed, has not been open to engage the Senate and Parliament on the public management debt. I hope, Madam Speaker, in Kenya government, Kenya Kwanza government, I hope, because some of us will be part of it, God willing, we must be honest on how we manage the public debt as per the principle.
Currently,
every year we are collecting about 1.6, 1.7 trillion, depending. It's not even 2 trillion. And we are having a national budget of over 3 trillion every year. That is to mean, sooner than later, we still have to increase our public debt ceiling. And it also means we're living way beyond our means.
Though the Senate Delegated Legislation Committee report is in support of raising the debt ceiling and passing the Public Finance Amendment Bill 2022, the committee observed that the ratio of debt to GDP is currently increasing and the debt might not be sustainable in future.
Even if you are to take that money off the budget, it does not justify why we have a 3 trillion budget. That is not something that we have to live with. What has happened, Madam Speaker, is that successive governments, be it the Jubilee coalition government or the current handshake government, because it's the handshake government, they've not been bold enough to just have discipline on how much we are spending.
The Azimio allied members of parliament who are in support of raising the debt ceiling to 10 trillion shillings argue that this is necessary since it will allow the next government time to reorganize itself, further insisting on sealing corruption loopholes, which they argued would lead to growth and stability in the country.
Mheshimiwa Spika, deni la serikali iko 8.7 trillion. Kufikia mwisho wa mwezi huu wa 6 itakuwa limefikia 8.7 trillion, ambayo hiyo ina maana kwamba iwapo kama tulikubaliana na ile swala la maongezeko yao ya awali, ingemaana kwamba kungekuwa hakuna ongezeko lolote ambalo tumeweza kuongeza katika kiwango hicho cha juu cha deni. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, tumeona kwamba hii ongezeko litaipa serikali pumzi ili kusaidia kudhibiti uchumi kwa sasa, kitambo serikali ijipange na mambo mengine.
But if the national budget is aligned to the county budget, which is informed by the CIDP or the annual integrated development plan, then of course everyone will feel the need to ask the right questions. Because others will say, oh, Senate is not doing its job, we are not seeing any development work going on. Yet you are saying, oh, we have not been paid our salary, so you really have to figure out, you have to choose.
Further, the committee observed that the National Treasury needs to put more efforts on public confidence with regards to debt management and sustainability in the country. Senate is expected to take a vote tomorrow over the bill. Elizabeth Mutuku, TV47, Nairobi.
Well, still in the Senate, and a storm is brewing in the Senate as the House is expected to pass a bill that will see additional allocation of cash disbursements to counties for the financial year 2021-2022. Senators have expressed fears that governors are probably targeting the cash to use in their campaigns ahead of the August polls. And as Paul Kirobi now reports, Senate has only 2 days to make a decision on that and other important matters before adjourning.
Mr. Speaker, let me allay the fears, because the financial year is coming to an end. And that's what I was saying, Mr. Speaker. Financial year is coming to an end in a few days.
With less than 54 days left to the August general election, members of the Senate have less than 3 days to complete the House business before the House adjourns. Among the key activities likely to make a huge impact in county operations is the disbursement of additional allocation to counties in the financial year 2021-2022.
And whether these monies will find their way to become campaign kitties, if it is done today, will there be exchequer release? We need to be careful, because going forward, we must also protect that whoever is going to take over the county governments will also find something in the coffers. We remember very well in 2002, when President Mwai Kibaki took over power, really, Madam Speaker, there was nothing in the National Treasury.
Senators have already expressed fears that governors might use the funds to campaign ahead of the August polls.
Honorable Senators, I think we are engaging in allegations that have no basis. So let's not discuss, because we don't have any evidence that any governor has used money, county government money to campaign. So
a few weeks ago, Chairman of the Council of Governors Martin Wambora wrote to the Treasury CS Ukur Yatani demanding the prompt settlement of pending bills. Mr. Wambora also noted that the County Government's Additional Allocation Act 2022 was passed, paving the way for the disbursement of grants and additional allocations to counties in the financial year 2021-2022.
We are hoping that that money, all of it, if they are for one financial year or two, they will all be safe. It will all be safe, and then it will be used properly when you are either governor or senator.
So far, counties are owed 64 billion Kenya shillings, 32.6 billion Kenya shillings for the April allocation for 46 counties, and another 31.4 billion Kenya shillings for all counties for the month of May. Failure by Treasury to adhere to the disbursement schedule might throw counties into a debt burden and raise county bills.
We still have a lot of problems in our counties. And even I'm worried at this particular time of campaign that some malicious governors might end up even misusing these particular funds.
We have seen county governments colluding with even the account sections of their own government and misusing this money or relocating this money to their own use.
The Council of Governors on various occasions has been on record complaining over the delay in disbursement of funds that has rendered counties dysfunctional with lack of proper service delivery to Kenyans. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
Moving on, the Orange Democratic Movement allied leaders led by Mvita Member of Parliament and Mombasa Gubernatorial candidate Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir have criticized the Kenya Kwanza allied leaders for alleging that they will move the port operations from Naivasha dry port back to Mombasa in the first 100 days of their leadership if elected. According to the leaders, Deputy President William Ruto participated in moving the port's operation to Naivasha, and hence the electorate should not trust his word. While addressing the press, the leaders have reiterated that it is only ODM flag bearer Raila Odinga who is capable of streamlining port operations that will boost the coast economy if elected president in the upcoming general election.
That amendment was approved by the National Assembly, despite the fact that the likes of Gachagua going against those amendments, despite the fact that Honorable Duale going against that particular amendment. Now, when they want to come and lecture us as if we are babies that have forgotten things, they also need to tell Kenyans what it is that their principles actually stand for.
Utendakazi wa bandari utawafaidi watu wa pwani. Na nikisema utawafaidi watu wa pwani, hii ni natural resource yetu. Kama vile ambavyo Masai Mara pale hivi tukiangalia inasaidia watu wa Narok. Kama vile ambavyo wengine wanasaidika katika mambo ya kahawa. Kahawa yetu hapa ama mbuga yetu hapa ni hii bandari yetu.
Ndugu zangu wa UDA, msiwe kinyonga. Kwa sasa mnataka kura ndo ati mnatuletea kaimati ambao mumepaka sukari na kule ndani mumetia sumu. Tumeona kwa mbali. Na hatutakubali muendelee kudanganya wapwani.
Na kama William ulishindwa kwa miaka 10 kutetea watu wa pwani kwa mambo ya bandari na mambo ya shughuli za bandari na ukaacha bandari ikafikia pale ilipofikia, huna nafasi. Nafasi ya sasa ya kurekebisha ni ya Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga.
Elsewhere, the national government has constructed 59 new markets and rehabilitated 33 markets within Nairobi City County during President Uhuru Kenyatta's second term in office. This is according to the Principal Secretary in the State Department for Housing and Urban Development, Charles Hinga, who toured several markets within the city earlier today. Hinga says the government is keen on providing a conducive work environment for traders by dignifying the markets in which they trade in. Mwangi Maina has the details.
Piers Hinga's tour of various markets in the city that have been constructed during President Uhuru Kenyatta's second term in office kicked off at the City Park Market along Limuru Road. The construction of the new market began when traders reached out to President Uhuru Kenyatta after its construction stalled in 2020. Construction of the second phase of the market that had been raised down in 2014 has cost the taxpayer 142 million Kenya shillings.
This place where we are standing, this is where the traders were. This was muddy place. When it rains, there was a lot of indignity that was associated with this particular market. As you can see, right now the traders have decent and dignified places where they are working from, and they were the first beneficiaries of the new stalls that you've seen there that are a bit compact. They take less space.
The market, which currently accommodates 1,100 traders, is among the 59 new markets constructed within Nairobi to serve the ever-rising number of city traders. Part of the market, which will accommodate a huge parking and a car wash, is still under construction. City Park Market is one of Nairobi's largest fresh produce markets.
A lot of our people trade. That is what they do. And in this second term alone, as I said, we've done 59 markets. We have rehabilitated about 33 in Nairobi alone. So if you go to Kenyatta Market, we've taken out asbestos roof. We have put drainage. If you used to take Nyamachoma there, I know right now you can see that there is a huge improvement. Toy Market, Bama, all those other markets, we have rehabilitated about 33 markets in Nairobi.
If you go in there today and ask any trader who is there, not only do they have space to put their goods, those goods are now able to actually last longer and to actually be able to be more presentable to a lot of their buyers.
Nawaomba all Nairobians, come and do your shopping at City Park Market.
At the City Market, which has seen a massive facelift for the first time since its establishment in 1932, Piers Hinga said it could be elevated to a heritage site. Due to the good-looking graffiti art, the market is not only attracting customers but local tourists. Traders here aver the regeneration of the City Market has been a blessing in disguise, as it has given them the desired conducive environment to practice their trade.
Actually, there was a time when you were as far as Biashara Street, you could be able to, even if you close your eyes, you could be able to tell that you are near a market because of the stinking smell which was there in the market. But now the market has really improved. So thanks to them, we have seen a lot of improvement.
But one of the things that we've agreed with the chairman is that I'm going to come here with the PS for tourism so that we can even elevate this place a bit higher. It is also a heritage site. It's a heritage site, and we want to make sure that we work with our tourism ministry so that when the tourists are doing a tour of Nairobi, this is one of the destinations.
At Gikomba, Piers Hinga says the newly constructed market accommodates 2,000 traders, with the construction of the second phase expected to benefit more than 3,500 traders. The new market has provisions for clean water, proper lighting, CCTV cameras, and uncollected garbage is a thing of the past.
Drainage system zote zimetengenezwa ndani ya soko. Tulikuwa kukinyesha kila wakati, tunapiga picha tunatuma kwa serikali. Saa hii soko hakuna maji, ile ina stagnant, maana hakuna. Saa hii siweji zote, line zote za siweji iko sawa.
The first phase has cost the taxpayer 490 million Kenya shillings, with the second phase expected to cost the taxpayer 750 million Kenya shillings. As of now, the national government has constructed 59 new markets in Nairobi and rehabilitated 33 more markets in a bid to ensure more traders have opportunity to trade their wares here in Nairobi. Mwangi Maina, TV47 from Gikomba Market, Nairobi.
Thank you, Mwangi Maina, for that report. Let's revisit our top story. And tonight, two gubernatorial hopefuls, Mike Sonko and Wavinya Ndeti, are fighting for their gubernatorial ambitions before the IEBC's Dispute Resolution Committee. This after the Wiper Democratic Movement challenged the IEBC's decision to bar Sonko from contesting in Mombasa, terming the decision as unconstitutional. Wavinya faces a petition in court over her degree qualifications after two Machakos voters said she is not qualified.
Former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko and his fellow Machakos gubernatorial hopeful Wavinya Ndeti are fighting to salvage their political careers before the IEBC Dispute Resolutions Committee in what could be a make or break moment.
Kama mlikuwa mkidhani Sonko ana mwenyewe, ako na mwenyewe, na ako na wenyewe, na ako na baba yake. Kwa hivyo, let these matters be dispensed with urgently.
Sonko, whose case will be heard on Wednesday, found solace in the Kalonzo Musyoka-led Wiper Party, which filed a complaint against IEBC for not clearing Sonko to contest the Mombasa governor's seat, arguing there is an active case in court and the returning of some Mombasa County Swalha Yusuf committed an illegality.
Governor Sonko has an active, I repeat, active matter before the Supreme Court. And all other causes are subordinate to the Supreme Court. Tuache haya ya kusaliti nia za wazalendo wa Mombasa. And I want to say Kenya kwa jumla.
In the Wavinya case, two petitioners from Machakos County, Gideon Ngewa and Kisilu Mutisia, have submitted before the committee disputing Wavinya's degree qualifications and want her nomination revoked. Wavinya's lawyers Eunice Lumala and Ochieng Oginga told the Bolu Moya-led committee that Wavinya is a degree holder, having contested in the 2013 and the 2017 general election, with no questions on her qualification.
And I submit that the complainants are merely gambling with the judicial process, jumping from court to court and forum shopping, hoping for a favorable outcome.
Wiper has accused IEBC of applying double standards, having approved Sirisi MP John Waluke, who was convicted of graft and later released. Wiper now wants the committee to declare the refusal by Mombasa returning officer Swalha Yusuf as illegal and unconstitutional, to accept Sonko nomination papers and clear him to contest, while seeking further orders that his rights to fair administrative action were infringed on. For majority of the aspirants whose cases are before the tribunal, this is a make or break moment in their political career, whose fate now lies in the hands of the tribunal ahead of Monday's deadline. Apul Kamau, TV47 at the Milimani Law Courts.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories. Tristan School of Medical Health Science and Technology. We offer highly competitive courses tailor-made to suit your needs. These include certificate and diploma in theatre technology, medical engineering, nutrition and dietetics, science lab, health records, environmental health science, counseling psychology, applied biology, social work and community development information and communication technology, community health and HIV/AIDS management, health services support, among others. Intake is ongoing. Register now at our Nairobi campus in Nairobi West, around Nyayo Stadium, on 0700-129-536. Our Juja campus next to Jomo Kenyatta University on 0700-000-760. Our Kisumu campus opposite Swan Center, Oginga Odinga Street on 0703-201-229. And Homa Bay campus opposite Makongeni Petrol Station. Tristan School of Medical Health, Science and Technology, where careers come to life. When planning to build sustainable and stylish homes and walls, think King's Clay. Our expertise in manufacturing affordable freespans, MaxSpan,
Maendeleo ya usalama yaendelee namna hiyo na uhalifu ishikwe kwa mkono na serikali na tufanye kazi pamoja na serikali kuu.
According to Gabatula Sub-County Deputy County Commissioner Stephen Nyakundi, up to 400 goats, 30 heads of cattle and 16 camels have been returned between the two communities since the peace process began a month ago. Nyakundi says that the two groups have now formulated a joint committee that will help in identifying perpetrators of theft and creating a framework of helping to track stolen livestock.
Ili eneo vile unajuao haina title deed, ili ni msitu. Hata wao wakisikia ya kwamba tunawapasu, tukiwa tunawakaribia wanatoroka. Na saa zingine wengi wako na silaha.
Kwa sababu kila wakati wanasema ngamia nne inachukuliwa, mbuzi kiasi inachukuliwa, hatupati kwa njia mzuri. Kwa hivyo nataka warudi nyuma, watupatie space kama kuna mali imepotea, tuweze kupata nyayo na tuweze kufuata nyayo. Kwa hivyo naomba ya kwamba ushirikiano ambaye tumeanza leo ili tuweze kwenda pamoja, ili tuweze kufanya kazi pamoja.
Sisi kama shirika tumejihusisha na ile inaitwa alternative dispute resolution na hii process imeweza kupatia knowledge ama imeweza kupatia ujuzi ya kufanya kazi ya amani.
The leaders from the region now say that no person has been arrested in connection with the crime during the recovery process. They have, however, indicated that 6 suspects are being pursued in connection to the cattle rustling crimes. Chepto Boit, TV 47.
Now, the ongoing cold season witnessed across the globe has raised concerns among members of the public, with some being forced to come up with conspiracy theories to support their narrative of the cause of the extremely cold weather. Our reporter Elizabeth Atieno spoke to a climate scientist to establish the main cause of the current weather pattern and has filed this report.
In a normal year, Kenya experiences extremely low temperatures in the months of June to August. But something appeared odd in this year's weather as the cold weather appeared to be more intense compared to that of the previous years. It is this weather that has left people speculating, as is seen in this post that went viral across all social media platforms for the better part of last week. According to the claim, the cold season is caused by a cosmological event referred to as the aphelion phenomenon, which has caused an increase in the distance between the Earth and the Sun to 152 million kilometers compared to the usual average distance of about 90 million kilometers. The Kenya Meteorological Department has since dismissed this post, terming it fake and misleading.
Phenomenon, like I mentioned, may not significantly impact on the Earth's weather. The true distance between the Earth and the Sun is about 150 million kilometers on average. And during the aphelion period, we expect the distance to basically slightly increase by 2 million kilometers to about 152 million kilometers. What was mentioned in that social media post was about 90 million kilometers, which is the average distance, and that it would increase to 152. Yet, in real sense, the distance between the Earth and the Sun is usually 150 million kilometers. So the difference of 150 and 152 million kilometers, that is about 2 million kilometers, may not significantly impact on the weather of the Earth.
According to the Met Department, the cold weather witnessed in the region is caused by the incursion of clouds and water vapor brought about by the strong winds witnessed in the southern hemisphere.
Cold weather that we are experiencing is mainly because of the incursion of cool and cloudy conditions, especially due to the southern hemisphere winter. So for the parts of Eastern Africa, which are quite high in terms of the altitude.
Counties in the Rift Valley, coastal Nyanza and western regions are projected to experience occasional rainfall and cold weather all through to September, while counties in the northeastern part of the country are likely to remain sunny and dry, thereby causing shortage of water, food and pasture.
Not all days will be cold, but there will be some days which will be getting very cold, with minimum temperatures depending on the location varying from about 6 degrees to up to 14 degrees Celsius. And the maximum temperatures during the day may significantly also be high, depending on the region.
According to weather forecasters, fog formation is likely to play out in the current weather. Motorists using the Nairobi-Naivasha highway, especially the Kikuyu-Kinungi stretch, have therefore been advised to be extra cautious while driving due to low visibility. Stakeholders in the environment sector have been urged to take advantage of the conducive soil moisture to plant and grow trees in order to contribute to the national target of 10% tree cover by 2022.
But on average for the Highlands East, maximum temperatures may vary between 20 degrees to about 24 to 26 degrees, which is quite low compared to other times of the year.
The extremely cold season comes barely 4 months after the country witnessed extremely high temperatures, which was attributed to the increase in moisture content on the Earth's surface. The main cause of the drastic change in the global weather pattern is yet to be established by researchers in the Met Department. As the cold season sets in, Kenyans have been urged to keep warm as diseases such as cough, fever and shortness of breath persist. Elizabeth Atieno from the Kenya Meteorological Department, Nairobi.
Let's now count the costs and get to the world of business. And illicit financial flows in African countries have been said to contribute to the loss of approximately 500 billion shillings annually in revenue loss across the continent. John Kimani breaks down the numbers.
The 11th meeting of the African Initiative was marked with progress on tax transparency by a number of African countries, a move that was made possible by the implementation of effective infrastructure for the exchange of information for tax purposes.
KRA recognizes the role of tax transparency in achieving its mandates of domestic revenue mobilization. The benefits of the authority has continued to gain from the improved transparency environment cannot be overemphasized. As a tax administration, we shall continue to collaborate with the OECD and the Africa Initiative in promoting global best tax practices in tax administration.
The report released during the meeting and covered 38 African countries has identified that over $38.7 million, which translate to 4 billion Kenyan shillings, was recovered in 2021 as a result of exchange of information on request, while over $1.3 billion that translate to 152 trillion Kenyan shillings of additional revenue was recovered through offshore tax investigation since 2009.
Expertise has progressed, and now we have 79% of the countries rating their level of expertise on exchange of information as medium or high, and it compares to 23 in 2014.
Consequently, political support has been cited as important in combating tax evasion and illicit financial flow, and more African countries have been encouraged to implement the exchange of information to ensure tax transparency and resource mobilization to sustain their developments.
And now we have the declaration supported by 33 countries and the African Union Commission, which have added their weight to this call to the fight against illicit financial flows and tax evasion. We hope that more African countries will join us in this journey.
Joan Kimani, TV47.
Now, the Kenya Revenue Authority has shut down Keroche breweries again over tax row. KRA closed the Naivasha-based factory, accusing the company of defaulting on an earlier agreed plan of repaying tax arrears totaling to 300 million shillings. The tax collector went on ahead to issue notices to several banks against lending to the brewer, fully paralyzing the operations of the company. Keroche, on the other hand, is accusing KRA of political witch hunt, noting that they signed an agreement through duress and harsh economic times had affected their operations.
With the officers concerning claims of tax arrears and repeated threats and actual enforcement measures to close down the Kirochi breweries. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the brewery was closed for 2 years because of the measures enforced by the government to contain the spread of COVID-19. And during this time, we incurred tax arrears of 322 million. Immediately the curfew and the containment measures were lifted late last year, and before the brewery could resume full operations, UNF officers affected enforcement actions that kept the factory closed for 4 months. That is December 2021, January 2022, February, and March 2022. After negotiating under tremendous pressure with a large team of your commissioners and top officers, we were compelled to enter an agreement whose implementation on the face of it could not be supported by the company's performance in its immediate post-COVID-19 economic effects and the first 4 months closures by KRI. Our pleas for time to resume payment on attaining full operational performance were rejected. But the KRI team noted our concerns, promised that we would walk the recovery journey together, and invited us to raise any concerns, issues, or difficulty with them as soon as they arise to enable them support us to get back to our initial position. We raised this in our correspondences.
Well, from business, let's get to the world of sports. Dennis Otieno is with us in studio. Dennis, good evening. What do you have for us tonight?
Good evening to Abubakar Abdullahi. Now, tonight we'll be telling you about the coaching course that is being offered to volleyball